All right, awesome. Aloha, everybody. Welcome to the 41st Annual Hawaii International Film Festival, presented by Halekulani, and our discussion today with these young filmmakers selected for this year's Student Showcase. We would like to extend our thanks to Kasasa Foundation, McInerney Foundation, and Bank of Hawaii Foundation for sponsoring our education program at HIFF, which includes this opportunity of highlighting the work of students throughout Hawaii. My name is Jen May Pastoris, and I'm the Education and Programming Coordinator at the festival. Before we begin, here are some short festival announcements that I'd like to share. For up-to-date information on additions to our program and the full schedule of over 200 films this year, events, HIFF Talk story sessions, and Q&As, please visit our website at www.hiff.org. Also, please consider participating in our Hawaii News Now Audience Award, voting by casting your vote via ballot in theaters or online at watch.hiff.org or on our streaming apps by voting with the 5 stars on a film's page. You could vote for your favorite narrative, documentary, and short film, which could be one of our Student Showcase films presented here. Mahalo to Hawaii News Now for your support. Okay, I think we are ready to begin. As you can see here, we have 10 to 11 filmmakers joining us today, and we have 24 student films featured in this year's festival. So what I'd like to do is have each student introduce themselves and their film. We're gonna go ahead and get started with the first film, which is A Boy's Journey, Crossing the Alianuihaha Channel, with student filmmaker Devrao Gallagher.
Hi, I'm Devrao Gallagher. This film is about my younger brother, Bobo Gallagher, as he crossed the Alianuihaha Channel, which is from the Big Island to Maui. And it's one of the most violent channels in the world, and he crossed it on a foil when he was 11. In the film, we also got to interview some really incredible water men and water women, and you get a look at not just the crossing, but also at the behind the scenes of traveling to the Big Island, training, and the finish.
Awesome. Thanks so much for being here, Devrao. Your film is 30 minutes long. It's quite an amazing documentary. And I was just wondering, Bobo is your brother, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Very cool. Nice. And how old was he when he crossed the channel?
He was 11.
That's amazing. Yeah, and this was just last year during 2020, that's right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. That's super cool. I hope you guys get a chance to see this film. It's really well done, and I'm just so glad that we have it at the festival. Thanks for being here. Okay, we're gonna, how about we have Ariana introduce herself next.
Hi, my name is Ariana Nichols, and my film is called A Rainy Day. It's a short animation I made like last year in quarantine about a girl. She's really sad, and she's coming home on a rainy day, and her parents are dead, and they have been for a while. It's a kind of sad story, but it's about like how love is grief, and even when your loved ones are gone, they're still with you in your memories, and they shouldn't be forgotten. And it has like a theme of hope. So yeah.
Thank you, Ariana. Yeah, your film, I really like the way that you also edited the sound. From the sound of the rain, and then there's some quiet moments until the music picks up. So really glad that we have your film included in our animation program.
Thank you. I really wanted there to be like a contrast between like the loud parts like of the rain and the quiet parts like of the realization and the sadness.
Mm-hmm. It was well done. How about Kailani Ibanez? Welcome, Kailani.
Hi, thank you. My name is Kailani Ibanez. I am a junior, and the first film I have is my short film called Burnout, and I made it last year. It's about a game where the main player faces the overwhelming pressure of approaching school deadlines, and in a way, it's more of a documentation of what I was feeling at the time, since I produced this film at the very end of last school year, and I had a lot of stress and things on my plate at the time. I'm also representing 2 other films made in partnership with Maui Huliau, one called Drowning, and the other one is a virtual tour of Waihe'e.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kailani. it's wonderful to see the three pieces that you have, including the two with Maui Huliao. So thank you so much for being here. Brendan, let's talk about your film.
Hi, I'm Brendan, and my film is called Footprint, and it's a short film using experimental and visual storytelling that follows the mind of a young boy dealing with the realities of life in the latter half of the 21st century. And he's forced to face some of his own arrogance, but also the arrogance of the entire human race as the effects of global warming are starting to be realized. And Footprint is just a reminder that we all leave something behind, but each and every one of us has the power to choose exactly what that is. And it's your future and your choice.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brendan. I really like all the different scenes that you chose for Footprint. And I was wondering, did you go scouting for all the different scenes?
Yeah, scouting for the locations was pretty fun because we got to go out to so many different places on the west side of Oahu and on all these different hikes, including Aiea Loop Trail. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that was just a blast to film.
Awesome, thank you. And for the next film, it's a short documentary called Apuni. I'll have Inez and May introduce their film.
Hi, I'm Inez. I was one of the co-directors of Apuni, which is a short documentary about the history of this local gallery called Apuni Space, the community that has formed around it, and what it means to be an artist in Hawaii.
My name is May. Yeah, so I thought of the idea of making a documentary about Apuni Space, which is like the space I discovered during like quarantine, which is like an art space pretty much. And so yeah, I'm currently out of school, but I did this project last year when I was a senior in high school.
Awesome. I love this documentary that you and Inez were a part of. I myself have been to Apuni Gallery, and it's a really cool thing what they're doing in the community for the artists and with the artists. And so I love seeing that you both were involved in this. So thank you for being here. All right, next we'll move on to John Kim. John, why don't you introduce your film?
Hi, my name is John Kim, and I directed and edited a dramatic short film called Homesick, which portrays a student who studies abroad, reminiscing about his past memories in childhood. So the basic premise of our movie revolves around themes of the emotional aspects that international students face when coming from entirely different backgrounds to study in a foreign country. And because we're located in such a distinct and special area, incorporating Hawaii was an essential part of the movie's plot, with many people not realizing the seemingly hidden and large community of international students within Hawaii. And if I can provide some statistics on this specific topic, in 2020, the HIES, the Hawaii International Education Survey, stated that there were 13,371 international student representatives within the 44 received responses from Hawaii's educational institution, including schools from our career cast members, which is Iolani School. And Hawaii's economic impact from these foreign exchange students coming in stated that there were 3,756 jobs that were supported by international student spending. And with all of this important information in mind, Homesick's main message is to shed light on the hidden emotional struggles of this journey that students may face when studying abroad.
John, coming with the statistics. I love it. Homesick really left me with a, as you put it, like the emotions behind it. You did a really good job navigating the character's story throughout. And I love the way that you used you used like photographs in the film. Was that your own childhood photos?
Yes, that was my own childhood footage back in Korea, Seoul.
Very cool, very cool. And I like that it switched to Korean speaking dialogue as well. That was neat.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks for being here. Okay, I want to go to Memphis Savage. Memphis, why don't you share about your film?
My internet is a little bit unstable right now, so I might cut out. But okay. My short film is called Monotony, and it's kind of about this really specific feeling that I was having at the time that I was writing it, of just every day kind of being a repeat. of the last that I think a lot of people can relate to with quarantine and those recent events. I think what makes it, I guess, unique would be that the most important part in the production of it for me was making sure that the video, like the visual and the audio, were both low quality. Like it felt like you were reading someone's diary, like seeing their like innermost thoughts that you're not allowed to see, like peeking over the fence. So nothing is as clear as you want it to be. Yeah, I wish I could say that it was something that was like really important and like groundbreaking, but it's just a film that kind of captures emotion, hopefully. Yeah.
Thank you, Memphis. You know, and I think that's exactly what I loved about your film, Monotony. I think you did a really good job, and it was a smart choice to use a handheld Samsung to record your footage. And I really did feel like it was a glance and a glimpse into someone else's life as a diary, as you put it. So job well done.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. All right. How about we go to Tyler next? Tyler, Tara?
Hey guys, my name is Tyler and I'm a senior at UMani. My film is called Average, and it's about a guy who's so average at everything that he doesn't really know what to do with his life. And I feel like my film sort of relates to a lot of high schoolers because we might not know what we want to do in the future. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy my film.
Thank you, Tyler. Your film did a really nice job of capturing that. And it's interesting how we go from Memphis just talking about her film Monotony and then your film called Average. And I think, you know, Kailani's film Burnout, I am just kind of going around in our circle here. A lot of you chose the theme of the pandemic last year and what it's like during quarantine, but just really also capturing what it means to be a student during that time and sort of the challenges of being a student. So I thought that was really cool and how you captured that in Average, Tyler. Okay, and last but not least, hi Lam, we'll have you introduce your film.
Hi everyone, my name is Lam Nguyen. I'm currently an 8th grader at Punahou Middle School. I'm representing the short film Paper Planes. It is about a girl who writes a note about how her days are, and then she folds it into a paper airplane and lets the note fly. The plane travels over different environments from crystal clear ocean waters to a burning bushfire, representing climate change. In the near future, the same girl gets her note back, and she then finds that her note has altered and thus taking action. It is a silent narrative short film and is mainly about the impact of climate change. It shows some forms of what climate change can do and its effects on our environment. Our team also wanted to address what people can do to give their help and support in helping the earth, like the Sierra Club fully devoting their work in helping support and reduce the amount of harm done to our world. Yeah.
Thank you, Lam. In your film, there was a little bit of animation with the drawings of the paper airplane. Was that your drawings that you used?
Yeah, I was the lead artist, as you can say, and a lot of people helped as well.
I thought it was a really cool incorporation in the film. Yeah. Thanks for being here too.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is open up the floor for anyone to answer this question. And then also, if you had questions about what you heard here today and are interested in going a little bit further into that, and you want to ask a question from somebody else's film, you're welcome to do that. But I know all the films are going to show on November 4th. So a lot of you haven't seen each other's films yet. And so I'm really excited for when you can. But our first question for this open floor opportunity, the question is, as a young filmmaker, what kind of production would you like to be a part of in the future? Or what kind of movies do you hope to make?
I can answer this if nobody else.
Awesome.
Right now. I would say that in any future filmmaking that I do, I want to continue to address social issues that are important to me and tell diverse stories that represent a wide range of identities and experiences. And my dream is to be able to combine advocacy with genres in film that I grew up loving, like action and fantasy, and just like the stuff everyone dreams of doing someday. And I also read a lot, so I've always wanted to help produce like an adaptation of some of my favorite books.
I love that. Of course, I'm curious, what are some of your favorite books that you'd love to adapt on screen?
I was unfortunately a little bit late, but one of my favorite series is The Six of Crows duology, which is like a young adult fantasy series, which actually is currently being adapted. It's on Netflix in a series called Shadow and Bone. So if anyone from there is watching, I am free for hire.
There you go. I love that, Inez. And like stories seem to recycle and come back again. And so there might be an opportunity for you to do that adaptation years from now. Who knows?
Yeah, in like 50 years, reboot.
Yeah. There you go. 50 years, lock it in. Would anyone else like to answer this question? Ariana.
Yeah, I would love to take part in movies. Like, it would be really fun to direct something because it's sort of like envisioning something. Like when you read a book, like you can picture it your way. And I think directing would be really fun because you're like sort of just creating a whole thing and you get to make this fantasy world, which is what I think is really fun about filmmaking because anything can happen, like no matter how crazy it would be in like real life.
Absolutely. I love that. Are you wanting to do more animated films?
I think both would be fun because like live action ones, you actually get to work with like a lot of real people and like directing like the movements too. But animating is fun because I do like to draw and I just love animated movies. Yeah, like my sisters.
Yeah. Nice. Very cool. Anyone else want to take this question? Would love to hear from each of you if you're interested. John.
Could I
specifically, oh.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No worries, no worries. So my sort of dream or my sort of motivation that I've learned throughout the process of creating my short film, Homesick, is the broad variety that comes with South Korean culture specifically, because with all of these seemingly like amazing movies that come out, such as Parasite, also known as Kisaeng-chung, Minari, another Asian film, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. All of these films focus on the main theme of Asian people, which is not as focused in the past as it has been now. And it's such a prevalent issue and topic that I'd really like to get the ability or the chance to take part in a film that's globally broadcasted in addressing this issue.
Absolutely. So more representation of films, of Asian films. Is that what you're saying, John?
Yeah.
Very cool. Who would like to go next? Oh, was it Lamb? Lamb, were you wanting to go? Or if not, we could go to Brendan first and then Lamb.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I was kind of glitching out, but all of the people I've heard have like goals that are so admirable. I hope to make moving and inspiring films in the future, to create movies that reach everyone's heart and minds, just to make an impact and to make people remember,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I love that. Brendan?
Yeah, I think the types of movie that I would like to work on in the future maybe is more documentary type movies. I think one reason why I would want to gravitate more towards documentaries is just like the unexpectedness of like the story and not knowing how the story is going to play out. And I think it's about just trying to interpret the story in your own way. And I think that's really exciting.
Absolutely. I think a lot of you share similarities of why you are in films and why you are in filmmaking and wanting to be a director or an actor or a writer or producer. And I think that's pretty neat. Would anyone else like to answer the question of what kinds of movies you hope to make or what sort of production you'd like to be a part of in the future? Memphis.
I think the main thing, I think it kind of ties back, but the main thing I learned from the film that I just made was that I'm really passionate about writing things that are essentially love letters to something. Like that movie, I kind of viewed it as a love letter to my friends, because like the whole, I guess the most gripping part of it was them, and it was about them. And all of my favorite directors, all my favorite writers in the film industry, all make movies that are very similar in that way, that it's a love letter to something, you know, it's a tribute to something. And yeah, I think I want to be able to make something that someone else can see and they can see, I guess, the passion behind it, but they can feel the love that I feel for that thing, I guess. Yeah.
That's great, Memphis. You could definitely tell, I would hope, when you watch film if there's a lot of love behind it, right? Or the intentions behind the film. And so I like how you put it, that the work that you do are love letters. Would anyone else like to answer the question? Or what we could also do is, if you'd like to share a little bit more about your film and the inspiration to why you made the film, you can go ahead and share that as well.
I'll answer the first question about, I think it would be really cool to make more documentaries and like tell real life stories in the future, and also like incorporate behind the scenes of like different projects, or like my brother does a lot of crossing, so like behind the scenes of like different adventures people go on. So yeah.
That's neat. What's great about that is that you'll also be going on these amazing adventures, documenting these stories.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Okay. Is anyone else interested in speaking more about their film, or maybe about a piece of work that they're working on next? Ariana.
Well, my film just started off with like one drawing, and this was during quarantine, and so I just was kind of sad and just down a little lately because I wasn't seeing my friends for a really long time, and I just felt kind of alone. So I just drew a girl in the rain just to like channel my feelings a little bit. And when I draw something, I like to make up like a story behind it, and so then that came the whole story of my animation, and then slowly I just started working more on it, and then it just spiraled into this whole story.
And now it's part of the festival. So it's pretty great to see how one inspiring moment can turn into something that takes you to different places of, inspiration. So, all right. How about this? Before I close, I'd like to open up the floor to any mahalos and any thank yous that you guys would like to share. John, go for it.
I'd like to say thank you to Dr. Nathan Z, who helped me throughout making this entire process of creating a storyboard, a shot by shot. And he's really helped me sort of fall in love with filming, because this is the first official film that I've gone through from the beginning to end. And so I felt as though the best story that I could start off with in my adventure and journey with filmmaking is myself. And so basically, to answer the question that you asked before, Miss May, about the inspirations of the film, the inspiration behind my film is to address not only a large topic of the emotional aspects that international students may face, but also the emotional aspects that I faced throughout my journey in coming to Hawaii to study for the first time in an international area 4 years ago. And so, to address the specific interaction that you mentioned between the mom and the sole character of the film, ultimately, the reason why parents send their students off to study in a foreign country is because of their child's future, and they want their kids to have a better life. And what this essentially boils down to is the love that their parents hold for their kids mixed with the concerns of grades and school activities. And so basically the inspirations that I've had is the interactions that I've had with my mother, the interactions that I've had with myself. And so Dr. Z's helped me throughout that entire process.
Awesome. I love that. Thanks, John.
Man, I can go next. Oh, sorry. Deborah, did you want to go? We have a couple, so.
You go ahead.
All right. First, we want to thank our video production teacher, Ms. Teraoka at Roosevelt High School, who was May and I's teacher last year when we were making the film, and is still my teacher, even though May has graduated. And she's just been incredibly supportive in every way throughout the entire production process.
And for me, I'd want to personally thank Donnie and Marika for like letting me be at the space and like using that space to like communicate my own artistic expression, and like the other people that come and visit there, like our own like Apuni space community, and my friends that introduced it to me. And I hope that this film of ours like opens this place to like a new audience.
That's great. I love that. Devereaux?
Yeah, I'd love to thank Duotone for producing the film and our cinematographers, Jace Pane Bianco, Amanda Bean Cantor, and Blake Hill. They were all like so amazing. And like all the people that we got to interview. And also thanks to you guys, Hawaii International Film Festival, for selecting A Boy's Journey. It means so much.
Thank you. Kailani, or let's go to Memphis.
Sorry. I wanted to thank Mary Ellen Manello, who was the yearbook teacher last year at my school, who kindly offered me videography equipment, very high-tech stuff that I politely turned down in order to use the worst video camera alive. But yeah, she's the only thing that made me finish this. And it means a lot to be here, the whole thing.
That's great. Thanks, Memphis. Kailani?
I just want to thank the people at Maui Huliau who helped me make this film to begin with. I was a part of the film festival a few years ago, and I didn't even realize my film had been sent in until I got the email that it had been selected. And it kind of opened up an entire realm of possibility that being a filmmaker is something I could do, and I had the potential in that area. And I'd also like to thank my teammates from the Maui Huliau videos, Keanu Frith and Kaimi Kaleleki, who helped me with drowning. And that film took a very long time because we started before COVID. We're still in COVID, but we ended it last summer. So it was a real long trip and they helped me through it.
That's great. Thank you so much, Kailani.
I want to thank my family, my grandparents, because every time I added something new to my animation, they'd watch it and they'd always give me positive feedback. And I want to thank my parents because they're the ones who entered me in this film festival.
Nice. I like all the encouragement that you have around you who's pushing you to do things like this. Brendan?
I just want to thank my parents, especially because production in COVID is just pretty hard, and just not being able to have the same like crew and like actors and all that kind of stuff. They really helped me out and like kind of supplemented that aspect of the production. And I also just want to thank my filmmaking teacher, even though he wasn't directly supervising me or anything, but he's a really good inspiration for me, and he really helped me fully form my ideas and execute them well.
Thanks, Brendan. Tyler or Lan, would you like to go?
I just want to say thank you to my film production teacher, Miss Beer. She sort of convinced me to submit the film. And at the time, I only did film for like, as like something I wanted to try it out, but now I do film as a hobby.
Awesome. I hope to see more work from you, Tyler, as well from all of you.
I'd like to thank Vera Zambanelli. She runs the Hawaii Women in Filmmaking. I did her reel camp this summer. She's super supportive, love her. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Yes, shout out to the Hawaii Women in Filmmaking. We love them at HIFF too. They're a great friend of ours. Thanks, Sam. Nice, Inez. All right. Okay, so I'm so glad again that all of you have been here to represent your film. And I hope that you get to enjoy all the rest of the films at the festival and enjoy the talent that the rising youth have here in Hawaii. And so to close, I wanted to thank our HIFF sponsors, board of directors, HIFF Ohana members, volunteers and interns, and our teachers and students. Thank you all for watching this discussion today. Please be sure to watch the festival that's up until November 28th. And if you're able to, please consider donating to HIFF, because every dollar counts towards keeping HIFF presenting great content like this now and in the future. To learn more, please donate at hiff.org/donate. All right, thanks guys, mahalo, bye.